Much respect to Greg Popovich and his family. Can only imagine what he's going through. Let's get on with some New York Knicks. Family, what's popping? What is going on? A lot happening in the NBA as far as the playoffs are concerned. And I'm telling you, man, watching the playoffs, I wish the New York Knicks were there. I wish they were there. The energy, the excitement. Can't wait till the Knicks are back. Dead up. I would have took the Knicks back. I would have took the Knicks making the playoffs this year. I know a lot of people very committed to the tank. But just watching the playoffs, man, the energy, the excitement, the way the fans get behind you, the big shots, the big games, the big moments. I need to see that back at Madison Square Garden. Got to see it back at Madison Square Garden. You know, I miss it. It's been too long. It's been since 2013. That's 5 years ago, man, since the Knicks have been back to the playoffs. We need to see it. We need to feel that electricity. We need to feel that excitement. You know, there's nothing like, although I'm from upstate New York, I've been in New York City. You know, I stayed in New York City a whole lot, in Brooklyn. And there's nothing like that kind of excitement, man. Nothing. The way the city is buzzed. It's nothing like it. So we need it back. We need it back quick. But although I want it back quick, I'm not ready to sell out to get it. I still think we need to stay the course, do what we're doing. You know what I mean? That way, when we do get it, you know, we have it for some time. You know what I mean? We have it for a while. We have it for a minute. We have it there for a minute. Yeah. So let's talk about the playoffs a little bit. We can start with tonight's game. Donovan Mitchell, D. Mitch, leads Utah Jazz over the OKC Thunder. And, Donovan Mitchell, man, he put so much pressure on the defense. You know, the way he's going to the basket aggressively, he just puts pressure on the defense and gets everybody backpedaling, has everybody on their heels, and he attacks the rim. You know, and the way, you know, with what Utah is doing, having a guy like Ricky Rubio that can spread the ball around, you know, get other people involved. And then you got Donovan Mitchell that attacks the glass like a bat out of hell. I mean, he just goes, you know. He just goes at the glass and he's going to make something happen. That lineup, that duo works. It works very well together. Donovan looking like a vet out there. Yeah. Looking like a vet out there, man. And you know, that's one of the benefits of guys staying in college just a little bit longer. You know, Donovan Mitchell is 21. He's got an NBA body. And he still has room to grow and get stronger and faster, you know. A little bit more experienced, you know. And I knew this was going to come up, David Johnson. I knew that was going to come up, that Donovan Mitchell should be a Knick. Hey, you know what? It is what it is now. I'm just glad to see the kid play. And you never know. Maybe one day he will be a Knick. You never know. But right now he's with Utah, and I'm glad to see him play. I just like his aggressiveness. You know, and the pairing with Ricky Rubio and Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt, it's kind of similar to what the Knicks could have with Trey Burke and Frank Ntilikina one day. You know, Frank kind of be that distributing guy, hopefully with a better shot than Ricky Rubio, although Ricky Rubio was knocking it down tonight. That could be something that the Knicks could have with Frank and then an attacking guard. But you need a guard that attacks like Donovan Mitchell. You know, if there was ever a time, yeah, Ace, you're probably right. Utah's not going to let the kid go. And this is the thing about, you know, people talk about trading your picks for an established superstar. Look at Donovan Mitchell, which was, what was he, the 13th pick or whatever he was. Think about the value that he's bringing to Utah right now. You know what I mean? He's a rookie on a rookie contract, but he's playing so far above his contract, it's ridiculous. You know, and that's the value of having rookies on your team. It doesn't mean that you have to tank for them, though. You know, I still believe you try to do the best that you can, and wherever you fall is what you accept. And then you draft the best way that you can from there. You know, Utah got Donovan Mitchell at whatever pick that they got him at. I forgot exactly what it is. You know, and from good scouting and good, I don't even want to say development, because the kid is already developed, you know. Kid is. I mean, he still has more developing to do, but the kid is he's tough. YouTube said, did I get my call to interview the Knicks? I didn't get the call yet. I've been sitting by the phone all day long. You know, I might have to just pick up the phone myself, send my resume in. You know, matter of fact, y'all can give them a call for me and just say, hey, we got a coaching candidate for you. Give them a call. See what happens. You know, see what happens. But let's take a look at what went down with Utah and OKC tonight. OKC, you know, they just don't have the chemistry, man. OKC just doesn't have chemistry. I know I've seen a lot of people that say chemistry is overrated, but it's far from overrated. And you can look at OKC and OKC is a living, live example of why you need chemistry to be a good team. They've got talent. There's no doubt about it. They've got talent. You know, with Westbrook, Paul George, Melo, they got talent. But they don't use that talent as a team. You know, and it takes a little while sometimes for a team to get together and look like a team. You know, sometimes it takes a little while. But you know, when you have ball players, if you're truly a ball player, in my opinion, if you're truly a ball player, you find a way. You know how to make it work and still get yours. You know, now I see people say the Melo effect, it's Melo. Let me ask you this. If it's Melo, why did KD leave OKC? He didn't leave OKC because Melo was there. Now, am I blaming it on Russell Westbrook? No, but sometimes Russell Westbrook's style of play is not beneficial to a team game. You know? And that's the reason why KD left. He wanted to go to a team that's going to share the ball, move the ball, swing the ball. Everyone's going to eat. Like Bradley Beal and them boys said, everybody eats. You know? I mean, they just don't have, they just don't have the chemistry. Will they get past this series? Maybe, because they're talented. But they won't go past the second round if they get past this series. Shout out to my man, the French Unicorn. Hit me with the super chat. I appreciate it. Of course, as always. You said, this is Marty Knicks. This is Marty Knicks post. I lost bet on the 76ers game to him. We bet $10 super chat. He says, no to Fizdale. Shout out to Tony Crow, the guest host. Shout out to Ishmael Hernandez. Shout out to Ronald Cleveland. Shout out to BN. Oh, lost the bet. Lost the bet to Marty. Hey, that 76ers and that's a tough matchup in the East. Just like this, Jazz and OKC is a tough matchup, man. It's a tough matchup, and I don't know if OKC is going to be able to pull it out. It's going to be tough. Now they're going back to Utah. Utah did what they needed to do, right? They came in, one split. They got a split. Then now they're headed back to Utah, and it's going to be crazy going into Utah. It's going to be crazy. And, you know, when it gets real tight, does OKC have the chemistry to make it work in a tight situation? I don't know. You know, I don't know. Troy, you said OKC's taking it. I still think that OKC is going to win the series. I think it's going to be a tight series. I think it's going to go 7 games, and it's going to be exciting. But Donovan Mitchell, if they want, not Donovan Mitchell, their coach, if they want to move forward, and it's probably too late in the season, but they're going to have to find a way to build some chemistry. You know what I mean? They got to find a way to build some chemistry and make it work, make them look like a team. Because right now it's just, you know, come down, I chuck it, you chuck it, we chuck it. You know, and it looks terrible. There's not much movement, not much happening. You know, you get a little bit of movement when Russ, you know, does a screen and roll. Maybe you get a little bit of movement there. You know, Russell does a lot of dribbling. You know, sometimes he's supposed to swing that ball. He's kind of stuck and then dribble to the other side of the court. And I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. So that's going to be a tough matchup. Right? And if Donovan Mitchell continues to build his confidence, which he will, in the playoffs, I mean, you know, a rookie in the playoffs, he's not scared. He has no fear. They could be in trouble. OKC could be in trouble. You know, because Donovan Mitchell is balling. I don't see anyone right now that's going to be able to stop him. I don't see anybody that's going to stop him. All right, so you see here the series is tied going back to Utah. OKC took a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Then they were outscored by 12 in the fourth quarter. Largely due to Donovan Mitchell. And then, of course, OKC couldn't buy a shot, but mainly it's because they weren't taking good shots. You know, in Utah, you know, don't sleep on Utah's defense. Utah has a good defense. OKC shot 40% from the game, 31.4% from three, 66.7% from the free throw line. Definitely got to do better than that. Luckily, the Jazz only shot 69.7% from the three-point line. They went to the line 33 times. Why? Because they were aggressive. They were aggressive. Donovan Mitchell, aggressive going to the rim. The Jazz shot 31% from three, 41.7% from the field. Ricky Rubio knocking down threes. You know, when Ricky Rubio shoots, man, sometimes when I look at him, sometimes he still shoots like a little kid. Like, sets back and he has to set it up and shoot it. But, you know, he's knocking it down tonight. I got to give him that. Looking at the box score, Donovan Mitchell, 28 points, 10 for 25 from the field. Shot 40%. Probably wish he shoots, you know, you hope he shoots better than that. But he's rookie, so, hey, you take it. 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He had 4 turnovers. A lot of usage. Ricky Rubio, 22 points, 5 for 8 from 3. 7 rebounds, 9 assists. You know, that's what Ricky Rubio does. That's what he does for you. Derek Favors was big, 20 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists. Rudy Gobert, 13 points, 15 rebounds. You know, if you go back and look at the matchup, I would imagine, I didn't get a chance to look at the matchup, I'd imagine Utah won the boards. Utah won the boards 56-46. You know. They stick with this blueprint. Stick with this blueprint, and OKC might see an early exit. And there'll be problems in Oklahoma if they see an early exit. I can guarantee that. You know what I'm saying? There'll definitely be a problem in Oklahoma. You know. So there it is. D. Mitch leads the Jazz over OKC. You know, talk about other, you know, right now, Houston is blowing out Minnesota. It's 71-53. And I don't see Minnesota standing a chance against the Rockets. I think it's going to be maybe a gentleman's sweep, maybe. You know, maybe Minnesota takes one in Minnesota, but they just don't have the firepower to match up with the Rockets. I think the only team in the West that has the firepower to match up with the Rockets is the Golden State Warriors. You know, that'll be this will be an easy series for Houston, guaranteed. Be an easy series. You know, right now they just went up by 21 points, and you can guarantee you're gonna put that one in the books. You know, but it is definitely an exciting playoff so far. All right, so let's talk about this Kenny Smith thing. How serious is this? How serious are the Knicks? If it's really happening now, if you haven't heard the reports, which I'm sure you have by now, Stephen A. Smith, according to his sources, say that the Knicks are going to interview Kenny Smith. Now, listen, I have nothing bad to say about Kenny Smith. He's won championships in the NBA. He's he's been on very good teams with the Houston Rockets. He's played games deep into the playoffs. I don't know if he's ready to just step off the mic and start coaching. You know, maybe it happens every once in a while someplace, but I just don't see that happening. I don't know. And that's what I wonder. Does Kenny Smith really want to coach? You know, because if Kenny Smith wanted to coach, wouldn't his name have come up at other points some other time for his interest for some other team? You know, or maybe this is the first time that he decided he really wanted to coach. You know, who knows? Who knows? You know, so I don't know if it's just a rumor or if it's the truth, but if they're interviewing Kenny Smith, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't know. He interviewed for Houston before. Okay. Oh, you say he interviewed before Houston got the job, before D'Antoni got the job, did he? Okay. So maybe he does have some. And you know what? I think I vaguely remember that. I think I vaguely remember him interviewing for that Houston Rockets job. And you know, Kenny Smith from New York. I believe he's a Knicks fan. You know, deep down in his heart. So I can understand his want to coach the Knicks. And then, of course, he played for Houston, so I can understand why he would want to coach the Houston Rockets. I just don't know if right now unless he just blows you away with some amazing ideas about how he would be about his organization and his philosophy and his style and his core values and those type of things, I just don't see how you just throw him out there. We did it with Derek Fisher and it didn't work. You know, coaching is hard. Coaching is unbelievably hard. It's one of the toughest things that you can do, really. Coaching is really hard. So I think you have to start somewhere. You know, and if you bring Kenny Smith in, I would say, you know, you bring him in as an assistant. You know what I mean? You know, you bring him in as an assistant and let him learn from there. So he may not end up being your head coach. He may end up being a head coach someplace else. Because I don't put it past Kenny Smith to have a lot of basketball knowledge. Right? I mean, you hear it on, you know, sometimes I question, you know, what are you talking about when we're talking about when he's on TNT? I'm like, you know, what is he saying? But I say that about everybody sometimes. And other people say it about whoever, you know, even about me. Because everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own philosophy. But for the most part, I think he's pretty knowledgeable about basketball. You know, but I don't think he's knowledgeable in the sense to be a head coach. You've got to show that you are organized. You've got to be able to handle development. There's a lot of things that you've got to handle as a head coach. It's not just stepping out on the floor and telling guys where to be and what to do. You know, there's a lot of other things that you've got to be able to do as a head coach. You know. You said, Edward Hunter, you say, no way he takes an assistant job. I don't know. I mean, why wouldn't he take an assistant? If he's truly interested into coaching, if that's the direction that he really wants to go, why wouldn't he take an assistant's job? You know, Steve Kerr did it. You're right. I know Steve Kerr did it, but not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? Not everybody can just step off and do it. And, you know, maybe he can do it, but I would say for most people, you're going to need some time to be groomed in the NBA. You know, maybe Steve Kerr, Steve Kerr is one of those guys. But also, let's also look at where Steve Kerr stepped to. Look at the team that he took over. If he would have came to the Knicks, would we have said the same thing? I mean, you look at the team that Steve Kerr took over. They had already won 50 games or whatever beforehand, and he took it to another level without a doubt. You know, that's a whole lot different than coming to an organization and having to build. To build your squad. There's a big difference there. A huge difference there. So we don't know what would have happened if he came to the Knicks. He may not be lauded as this great coach if he came to the Knicks. You know what I mean? He may not be lauded that way. So yeah, Steve Kerr is an example. He is an example, but I think he's an exception rather than the rule. Eddie Suarez, you say Fizdale with Jason Kidd as the assistant. Hey, could be. Or I seen somebody else. What about Mike Woodson with Jason Kidd as the assistant? Worked a couple years ago, a few years back. Mighty Knicks, thank you for the super chat. You said we need someone from the Spurs. # Becky Hammond. I'm with you. I feel you. I think that Fizdale, he may not be from the Spurs, but I think he brings that same aura about him, in my opinion. You know. CP the Artist, thank you for the super chat as well, my brother. You say, I don't want to see Kenny's knock knees at MSG. Hey, Kenny has a little bit of, it's something. So I seen somebody say it earlier, that he's a little bit weird. It's something about him too. I feel it. He's a little arrogant, a little bit, kind of like a know-it-all, a little bit. I think. I don't know. I don't think it's serious anyway. I think that the Knicks are just Scott Perry, Steve Mills. If it's true, they're just exhausting everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Ron Artest an interview just to turn over every single stone. Marty, thank you for the super chat. You said Fizdale got fired from the worst team in the NBA. If he's so good, they would have kept him over Gasol. Knicks always going after other teams' trash. See, I disagree with you there, Marty, because I disagree. And one of the reasons I disagree, and it's hard, this is a tough thing. Players put fans in seats, especially if you're talking about a small market. Like the New York Knicks is a big market. Fans come to the arena just for something to do. I'm in town, I'm in New York, got to go to a Knicks game. In Memphis, it's a little bit different, right? Players put the fans in the seats, not the coaches. So you can't always say that the coach is going to outlive that player, whether or not that player is right or wrong, because sometimes it comes down to the money for the owners. I don't know everything that happened in Memphis with Fizdale and Marc Gasol, but Marc Gasol has been there for a while, grew up there, right? He grew up there. From a fan's perspective, in a place like Memphis, they would probably rather have seen Fizdale go rather than Marc Gasol because he's a hometown boy. So that could have been something. That could have been something for real. But I think that like I said, I like Fizdale. I really would like it to be Fizdale. He's going to interview later on this week. Mark Jackson has already interviewed. So we might as well move on to Stack, Jack, and Fizz. Stack, Jack, and Fizz. But before we get into that, or while we're getting ready to get into it, let's take some calls. So if you you want to call in, give me a call. Let's talk a little bit. I want to hear your perspective. I want to hear what you think about Kenny Smith. What you feel about this coaching search. I think right now they're trying to uncover every stone. Yeah, Fizdale won 50 games in Memphis. But what exactly was the issue between Pau Gasol and Fizdale? That's what I want to know. What exactly was the issue? And by the way, that team that he won games with, they really had no reason winning games. I was surprised. I really was surprised when they started winning, when they were winning games. So I'm really interested to find out, what it was between him and Marc Gasol. You know what I mean? That led to, and maybe they just didn't get along. Sometimes personalities just clash. Sometimes personalities just clash and it doesn't happen. It doesn't work. But I'd be really interested to know, because one of the things that Scott Perry, Steve Mills, one of the things that they said is that they want to make sure that they get a coach that can relate to the players, have a good relationship with the players. And if you look at the guys that's lined up, the guys that are leading the calls, Mark Jackson, Coach Fizdale, how is their relationship with players historically? I think in that interview that Scott Perry and Steve Mills did, I think they were sending some cues out to Mark Jackson, Fizdale, letting them know, if you want to coach here, this is what we expect. Maybe you've learned something from the past. My man, Isaiah, what's popping, bro?
It's good, Simeon, man. Blackest time. What's going on? Shout out to the chat.
Yes, sir. So what you think about this Kenny Smith stuff?
Oh yeah, I got you. Real quick, I just want to say rest in peace to Ernie Popper, Red Popovich's wife.
Yeah, Aaron Popovich.
That was real sad, man. Over 40 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one, and I didn't even know there was anything going on with Greg Popovich with his wife, with her.
Yeah, I've read a couple of things. I guess she was going through like a lot of health issues, and that's sad, man. Because my parents been married over like 50 years, and it's just crazy. So
yeah, that's tough, and you can only imagine if she was going through it, and then now he's trying to coach his team, and that's a tough deal. That's tough to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. But with Kenny Smith though, I'm fine. I'm good with that, man.
You good with him coaching the Knicks?
Oh no, I'm not good with him coaching. I'm good on that. I don't want him.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Nah, because I'm just I don't want nobody that new. Maybe get him as an assistant coach, maybe, but not as a head coach. I believe you got to start these guys off summer, man, because I think got some of them problems, maybe it wouldn't have hurt Jason Kidd to be an assistant coach first, rather than becoming a head coach, because then you learn and you observe. And then, because now you get guys that, because now, for example, he's not gonna go back to being an assistant. Some of them guys have egos, and they're not gonna go back to being an assistant. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fine on that. I want Fizdale, honestly. So I'm not really good on Kenny Smith. I'm not good on that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I see someone just say, Kenny Smith is very astute. He should not be underestimated. You know what? I agree with you. I think that Kenny Smith is definitely knowledgeable, but there's a lot more that goes into coaching than just being knowledgeable about the game. There's just so much more that goes into coaching than being knowledgeable about the game. You've got to be able to manage people. You've got to be organized. Your work ethic, it has to be off the charts. And I'm not saying that Kenny Smith doesn't have that kind of work ethic, but, I think it's something that you grow into.
Yeah, because, it's just a simple fact that, just for example, with him, he's been doing TV analyst for 20-something years now, I think. He only really works twice, maybe 3 times a week.
I'm not sure how much goes into their preparation for the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't think he does what a coach does.
No.
Which is basically you don't get a day off. You right after the game, you got to stay up to get film on the next guys. I don't think he don't do that. Also too, I just want to make a little quick comment on the Fizdale. I was reading some comments and they're trying to blame it on Fizdale, but man, do they not know that the Memphis Grizzlies have 2 horrible contracts? They got Mark Gasol and Conley. Conley's making almost $30 million a year.
He's making $30 million a year.
And then Mark Gasol's making what, 25, 27? Somewhere
around there. Not exactly sure, but something like that.
So people got to understand too, it's either nobody's going to take a 32, 33-year-old Mark Gasol on a $27 million contract. It's easier and cheaper to fire. I mean, there's either,
of course,
you can't trade Marc Gasol. It's not possible. Yeah. Nobody. So you have to fire Fizdale.
Yeah, and you know, Marc Gasol is a fan favorite. He's from Memphis. He's not originally from Memphis. They're from Italy or Spain, from Spain.
I think the Spaniard.
Yeah, but when Powell went to Memphis, then Mark came to Memphis and you know, grew up in Memphis during his teenage years. So
yeah, but you know, also too, real quick, man. You know, I was watching this video today. I was watching an earlier podcast, and you know, I don't know if you ever heard of Locked On Knicks. It's another guy. He does like podcasts. It's called Locked On Knicks.
I think I've seen it before. I think I've seen it on Twitter or something.
Yeah, he does podcasts, and no, he was just, you know, the whole episode was dedicated to Mark Jackson and why he shouldn't be the coach.
Yeah,
you know, and it got me, and I really like. I've been reading stuff way before that, but it was just crazy about, you know, a lot of the off-court things what happened with Mark Jackson. It's crazy, man. It's like, and a lot of it has to do with, like, you know, him being like a big religious heavy dude. Like He's heavy in religion.
Right.
He's a pastor.
He's a pastor, a devout Christian. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with that because, you know, I believe in God on that. But like, he was having like Steph Curry jump on his ankle. He was, and it's always been this, and it's crazy. It's always been this common theme with Mark Jackson about dividing the room. Like, I even read an article about how he divided the Utah Jazz and they hating John Stockton. You know, and I say, like, you know, originally I like Mark Jackson, but I'm like more on Fizdale. And I think Fizdale's going to be the pick because I've been reading other stuff too about the Knicks contacting them 2 weeks before they fired Jeff. So I think they really, really are going to go with Fizdale, but, you know, they're just doing the others.
Because they have
to. You know, because they have to, you know. But I think I'm almost 80% sure that Fizdale is going to be the next coach. And I think it's a good fit, and I like him, and I think he's definitely the right choice for us.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I hope that he's the choice. I do. I hope he's the choice. You know, because I think he's a defensive-minded coach. I think he's young enough to relate to the players.
He's only 43 or 44.
Right. I think he'll be a hard-nosed guy, disciplinarian, and I think he exudes professionalism. And I think we need all those things.
Exactly, man. And just look what he did with Memphis offense. They were old school, grinded out offense, and he got them to shoot threes and become a modern. I think when he coached them, they were like a top 15 offense. And that's huge for Memphis.
Yeah, I have to go back and look. Yeah. Hey, Isaiah, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. Always love your insight.
Definitely, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man.
All right, man. Be good.
All right, peace. Yeah, there's a lot happening, and I just want to answer a couple questions that I've seen. Another person said, you know, why can't Kenny Smith come out of being a commentator and coach because Steve Kerr did it? And I'll repeat it one more time. Why I think it's not that simple. When Steve Kerr became a coach, he was, you know, he went to the Golden State Warriors and established a team that he didn't have to really build anything. All he had to do was tweak the offense so that they could be the Golden State Warriors that we know today. You know what I mean? Would he have been the same Steve Kerr if he would have came and coached the Knicks, a team that was building? We don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no. We don't know. You know, and I think so. I think Steve Kerr is an outlier. I think he's the exception rather than the rule when it comes to just stepping off the microphone and coaching. You know what I mean? And exactly. Yep. Blanc Court. You said keyword. Steve Kerr was a former GM, and so you know you get while that's not a coach. While it's not a coach, you still learn some of the ins and outs of the organization on the business side. You know, the organizational skills that you might need as a coach. You learn and you see some of those things. So I just don't think it's that easy as stepping off the mic and then stepping onto the court. You know what I'm saying? Ron Martinez, man, what's popping, bro?
What's good, Simeon? Shout out to chat. What's going on, brother?
I'm chilling, man. How you feeling?
Hey, I finally got a day off from work, so I figured call in.
All right, that's what's up. I hear you.
Yeah, man, it's
Yeah,
hard because usually when you come on, I'm at work and night. So I say, hey, let me jump on the chat tonight. It's
yeah.
been a minute since I spoken to you.
Cool, cool. I'm glad you're here. Hey, so what do you think about this coaching situation?
Well, before I forget, I was going to mention two things. One, Kenny, if I'm correct, I believe Kenny, the Jet Smith, I believe sometime last year, I think he was trying to interview for a front office job at Sacramento, if I'm correct. I
Okay.
think he was trying to either coaching or front office. So it seems like he's trying to get back in either the front office or on the coaching level. But I remember one time on the show, I think he said that was just preliminary talks. I think they never got that far in Sacramento. Because I believe he was drafted by them when he came out in the NBA before he went to Houston. I think either he ended his career with them or he got drafted by them. But the other two guys that come to mind that made that jump besides Steve Kerr, I'm going way back now. It's Pat Riley. Pat Riley used to be a commentator for the Lakers, and he came into a situation where they had two coaches, and eventually he became the head coach. They had one was coaching offense, which was coaching defense. But then again, look at the team they had. And Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers used to be a commentator for the Magic before he became a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So there's exception to the rules, but I think I watched the press conference with the Knicks. And I guess like they were giving hints. What you saying? I think they're giving hints out there because they were asking them, "Is anything off the table?" I think they're looking at everything. I think they're looking at college. I think they're looking at the G League. You know, like with Stackhouse. I think they're turning over every stone. You know,
right.
But for the Knicks fans that have been Knicks fans for a minute, and I think Simi, you will agree with me. This is the thing here. The next coach that comes to the Knicks doesn't matter. We've had Hall of Fame coaches, so let's not even go there. We've had some of the best coaches that you can find. Same result, different coach, same thing. So it's not that we haven't had good coaches. It's when the next coach comes in, what is the plan for that coach? Is he a bridge to the next coach, or is this the coach that you're going to ride with no matter what? Because you know in New York, no matter what coach you come in, because if you can bring a big star coach. And you're talking about, we have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. You don't start winning, that coach, it doesn't matter what contract you give this coach, 3 years, 5 years, he's out of there. You don't win, you're going to get fired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter how good of a coach. You can have the best coach. You win games, you don't make it at least to the playoffs. And then on top of that is Porzingis going to be happy? Because my question is, because you know, this is a players' league. You know, you're talking about how Fizdale. Well, what was the issue there? It was with what? The biggest star, right?
Yep.
So who's going to go first? The coach? So at the end of the day, who's carrying more weight there? Is it the front office? Is it Porzingis? Because if you're a coach, I'm sure if I'm a coach and I'm coming in there, I want to know who has the last word. Is it Steve Mills? Is it Scott Perry? Is it Porzingis?
Right.
Porzingis, you know, at the end of the day, Porzingis not happy. Now what do? Do you appease Porzingis? Or you say, Porzingis, well, you can walk out the door. This is our man. You know what's likely is going to be the coach who's going to leave, not Porzingis.
Right. Exactly. And that's what we were talking about earlier with what went down in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep Marc Gasol.
Exactly. And at the end of the day is we want to make if Porzingis is our superstar, which we don't even know. I mean, they were talking about is he sitting out next season. And if we look at about Porzingis, the first thing that came to my mind when I heard him asking that question about Porzingis, are you playing next year? The first thing that popped in my head was Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to know what's going on. And now you tell me what team right now outside of Cleveland and Golden State has a winning culture. Why would you want to leave San Antonio? Because he's thinking business. He's like, listen, I'm not going to get hurt after what happened to Isaiah Thomas. He wants that contract.
Right.
You know, and his peoples are telling. So right now, he's not listening to the Spurs. He's listening to his camp, and he's like, no, when I'm ready. So right there, no matter how many rings San Antonio has, and Popovich. Who's going to say that Popovich is not a great coach? And even with that can't even get him on the court.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So at the end of and when it comes to New York, right now, the fact is that it's the Garden, the fact that it's the Mecca basketball, that doesn't sell no more. Players want to play with other players. They want to go with the talent where there's a path of least resistance. So right now is at the end of the day, who's going to be the sales guy there? Is it Steve Mills? Is it Scott Perry? Is it Porzingis? Who's going to be at the end of the day? If you can't draw free agents, so are we going to be a small? even though New York is not a small market team, you know you cannot run the Knicks like a small market team. Like, oh, the fans need to be patient. Okay, how much patience do you want? We haven't won a championship in 40 years, bro. I mean, how much patience? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man.
When I hear that gets me. Patience. I think we way past patience. I mean, come on, we've had this. Look at the carousel, all the different coaches. Look how many coaches Porzingis already had, and he just came into the NBA. How many coaches he's gone through already?
This gonna be this is gonna be what, his fourth coach.
Look at that. He just got drafted a couple of years ago.
Exactly.
So, to me, I think right now is what is, like we've talked about this before. What is the plan? This guy coming in, is this the kind that you're to keep until you get that championship team, or you just want to have a developmental coach, a young coach to get him to that point? And then you get another coach, like what happened with Steve Kerr. Okay, Mark Jackson, he was the bridge. Steve Kerr took him over the hump. But we already know Mark Jackson was there, right? Mark Jackson did the labor, laid the foundation.
Exactly.
Right, and Steve Kerr was the one that pushed him over the hump. But Mark Jackson did a lot of work before he got this. So, but we already know in Golden State, there was a lot of rumors about, the fact of how he, his religious beliefs, that, some guys don't want to hear that in the locker room. So at the end of the day, when a guy comes in, can you tell if the guy can coach, you say, listen, we respect your faith, but can you leave that? Let's leave the politics and the religion outside the locker room. Can we stick to the X's and O's? Because at the end of the day, when you're bringing this coach, what are you bringing him for? Because you know how it is in other teams out there, is who's the recruiter? Is it the player? Is it the coach? Or is it the front office?
Right. Yeah.
Look at the Lakers. The Lakers are in the same boat. They make the playoffs. So who's doing the recruiting out there? Is it Luke Walton or is it Magic Johnson and the G? Who's doing the main recruiting out there?
Yeah, you're right. I hear you. You're right.
And mind you, LA has they got 17 championships. So it's not like they don't have a tradition of winning.
Exactly.
But they're in the same boat that we are. Yep. They're rebuilding just like we are.
Mm-hmm. And
the difference is
yeah, the difference is we haven't been winning anything. Yeah, we got two.
So I don't know, brother. I don't know.
One thing that Scott Perry and Steve Mills did say is that they're looking for someone that can be around for a little while. You know what I mean? So hopefully they are looking for that person that's gonna that's gonna help develop the team and then hopefully be able to take that team over the top.
So to me, you have to get a young. So in your opinion, when they say a little while, what does a little while means? 3 years, 4
years?
You
know what?
What does that mean? A little while.
Thinking back on the interview, I don't know if they even put a number on it. So I'm thinking maybe it's 3 years or something like that. Or maybe they really want to look for someone that's just going to be here long term. So they really trying to nail this coach, get the right guy, and then, okay, this guy's going to be here. We're going to roll with this guy through thick and thin. You know what I mean?
Right. Because if they don't make it, let's say, God forbid, let's say the next coach comes in, whoever it is, Jerry Stackhouse, Mark Jackson, you name it anyway. And the next 3 years, we don't even sniff the playoffs. Are they firing that coach? Of course they're going to. That's the easiest thing. You can't fire the team.
Right. Right.
Exactly. So my thing is, if that's the case, if you want a guy who want to develop the young players, develop Frank, develop these young Porzingis, then maybe you should go for the hottest. I mean, I heard even this guy from what was it? They just won the championship in the NCAA. I don't know if you're going to interview him or not.
Right, Jay Wright.
Jay Wright. So my thing is, maybe you should go with a young, like Boston did. Get the next hottest young coach, a guy that's that knows the X's and O's, but likes the analytics, likes to include everything, and then maybe. But at the end of the day, because if you get an older guy, what happens to an older coach? He's like, man, coming in there, you got to know, it's like, man, if I don't start making the playoffs at least in a year or two, I'm out of a job again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hey, good call, man. Hey, you speak a lot of stuff that people want to hear. And hopefully, I think I need to take that clip and send it to Steve Mills. Let him see what's going on. Let him know what Knicks fans think.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if you coaching the Knicks, bro. I just want to make it to the playoffs, bro. Just get us to the first round at least,
Right, there you go.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, bro. Thank you.
No problem, man. Talk to you later, bro.
Sure. Talk to you later. Yeah. And with that, great call by Mr. Ron Martinez, man. It's a great call. Speaking a lot of facts for real. But he's leading me. He led me right into talking about Jerry Stackhouse. You see, I got up here Stack, Jack, and Fizz. Jerry Stackhouse, from what I'm reading, is growing on me a little bit. I know in another video, I never discounted him, and I always said, hey, from what I hear, he's a really good coach. He does a lot of good things. He's been coaching the G League to be successful, coaching that G League team to success. They've been the last 2 years, they've been the best defensive team in the league. And what's so good about that is in the G League, you got crazy turnover, right? You may have a whole new team. As a matter of fact, I think this year he had two players from the previous year. Yep. And they're still the number one defensive team. That's talking about coaching. That's coaching. Yep. And reading some of those things, man, if we're talking about bringing in a young coach, Stack's name is growing on me. We talk about bringing in a young coach. Stack's name is definitely growing on me. And as I'm thinking about it, hold on, I feel more comfortable bringing in someone like Stack. My man Tony Crow, man, what's popping, man? How you feeling about it?
What's going on, yo? Blackest Time. Shout out to the chat. Send me in, keep doing your thing.
Appreciate it, bro. What you think about Stack, man? What you think about him?
He's growing on me too. He's growing on me too. I think. I mean, I'm not mad at any choice because I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm gonna be rooting for whoever we choose.
Yeah.
But I think the right direction. I see the right direction as a younger coach. Mm-hmm. I kept saying, give him that free year with no expectations. Where now, the coach could just groom and actually do his thing. Right. I think they're definitely looking at a 5-year process. And the reason I say that is our last, none of our last, 5 coaches lasted more than 4 years. I think 4 years is max.
Who was here for 4 years? Who was here for 4 years?
I don't even know if 4 is the max. Woodson might be our longest tenure. He was at least 3 years, right?
Yeah, he might be. I mean, he's in the last 10 years. Besides Jeff Van Gundy, he's the
longest
the winningest coach besides Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, nobody finishes. No coach has finished their contract here.
Yeah, and some of those coaches, man, kind of. Mike D'Antoni comes into mind. He caught something raw. He's started off with the whole Marbury deal, right?
I don't know.
And then ended off with the whole Melo thing.
I have no sympathy for Mike D'Antoni, for the simple fact of how he handled the Marbury situation.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
But that whole situation was handled horribly.
I feel that.
Not just him, the organization did him dirty as a whole, but D'Antoni made it worse.
That was a rough situation. My thing with what I'm saying about D'Antoni is his style won everywhere else except for the Lakers. Except for with the Lakers. But it won most other places when people bought into what he does. You know what I mean? In Phoenix, now in Houston. We didn't have the people that was going to buy in, though.
You can say he got a raw deal for the simple fact he really didn't want Melo. And if you have a coach, I mean, it's one thing if the player's already on the team, but to go grab a player that a coach doesn't really want, that's kind of stacking the odds against them.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but he was willing to take him back. He was willing to take him back this year, but I think because he had Chris Paul.
Oh, absolutely.
You have Chris Paul there, that changes a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But yeah, back to Stack. I like Stack. I like Jay Wright if he's interested. Both those guys. I think obviously develop players. Excuse me, and that's what we need more than anything. Let's develop. We got our draft picks. Let's draft right. Let's let's go through a process, a real process.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's tough to hear as a Knicks fan. Like you were saying earlier, I would love to see the Knicks in the playoffs too, man. But and I was all for it. Playoffs is more important than the draft.
Yeah, I feel playoffs would have been big. If Melo could have been in the, KP could have been in the playoffs. Frank could have been in the playoffs. I think that would have been big. You know what I mean? But all we could do is hope for next season, which probably might not come around. Might not come around for us again next season. But you never know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Scott Perry and them guys do. One thing that always sticks out in my mind is that when KP got hurt, what Scott Perry said is that we need to make sure that we build this team so that when he comes back, he's got a squad around him. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely. Have you a couple questions? Have you heard anything on Blatt? Have you heard Blatt is out?
I haven't heard. I don't think they've interviewed yet.
Yeah, I was reading on a different site that it's all speculation, but I was reading that he was out, and I was just wondering if you heard anything. I actually on another site I heard a guy say that Blatt is like almost a for sure candidate or like he got the job and they're going through the motions, and supposedly they were talking about hiring Porzingis's coach from EuroLeague as an assistant.
Yeah. See,
but,
I don't like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't like catering to the players that way. I don't really like that. I like, if hire the people that you want to hire. Don't go try to appease the player. That's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's me. But I know you got to protect your investment as well.
I mean, it never works for sure. I mean, look at OKC getting Donovan in there, thinking that was gonna keep Kevin Durant.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, for sure.
But shout out to the chat. I'm gonna let somebody else call in.
All right, Tony.
Keep doing your thing, my brother.
All right, appreciate it, bro.
One.
Yeah, so my man Stack is growing on me for sure, man. When I see him, he too exudes some professionalism. From what I understand, he's obviously a defensive guy, kind of old school. So now, if he is old school, does that mean that he is? Scott Perry and Steve Mills talked about analytics. Does that mean he's opposed to analytics? Old school guys sometimes are opposed to analytics. Or maybe he's just young enough to be able to mix the two. You know what I mean? But Stack, he's growing on me a little bit from the things that I read. You know what I mean? He's growing on me. Now, obviously, I haven't really seen his team in action or anything like that. But from what I hear about his team and how they play, their style of play, it intrigues me. Who's Mark? What's poppin', bro? You back? Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, you out on bail or what's poppin', bro? What's up?
Nah, man.
Where you been at, man?
I had lost my account and I just came back from California and shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yo, what the hell are we doing? How many coaches we trying to look after?
I think they just trying to. I think they trying to turn over every stone. and see what's out there. In my mind, honestly, I believe that they know who they want. I think they just trying to, make it look good, make it say, hey, we searched everywhere. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Yo, you know what I was thinking, yo? I don't want Mark Jackson. Don't want him. I want me a coach that knows the games about X and O's. I need an X and O's coach, and I'm really considering David Blatt.
Okay.
I went and studied his offense and just his coaching. It is superb for the talent that we're trying to, for the talent like for Porzingis and stuff, the way we're trying to play. Mm-hmm. Boy, oh boy, LeBron really gave him a bad rap because some of the plays he would have unleashed with LeBron and Kyrie, it is so good. It is so good.
He gave him a bad rap. He
gave that man a bad rap, bro. And I was watching games where he was coaching. Now he know how to galvanize the troops, man. LeBron really gave him a bad freaking rap, man. He didn't give him a chance. That man can coach, and he's an X and O coach, man. X and O. I'm watching. I want to coach that. I'm watching Brad Stevens the other day. Y'all realize it's just pure X and O. He's an X and O's coach, man. He's putting subpar talent. Look at them. Look at how the Celtics play.
And they're doing it with Kyrie's out. Gordon Hayward out.
You know what it is? You know what it is with his offense? It is straight muscle memory. You gotta know where to be on defense.
There you go.
And offense. That's just Celtics offense. That is and it's pure X and O's. Pure X and O's. I don't want Mark Jackson because that offense is stagnant. We will be going back way back into like 06, 07. I don't want it.
Okay.
I'm thinking about I like Jerry Stackhouse.
That's what I was going to ask you. What you think about Stack? Because he's growing on me. He's really growing on me big time.
Cause like I said, I've been watching all these coaches. I went back and watched all of them. He gets into players' asses. That's another big thing that I want from a coach. And he's developing well because he developed Siakam from Toronto and Van Vliet, and these boys are rotation players. Like, they're legit players, especially at Van Vliet. Van Vliet is a player. Now, Fizdale, I like him because what he runs a lot is what Spoelstra is running in Miami. And Spoelstra is just missing a bomb star because that Miami team, they do everything correct, but they can't score. They need a mega star there.
Well, he comes from that lineage of coaches, right?
And yes, and he's another one that's going to hold players accountable. That's another thing. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I believe about Fizz. That's why, for me, right now, Fizz is leading, and Jay Stackhouse is growing on me.
Yeah, my first two is Black and Fizdale. I was thinking about Jeff Van Gundy because he runs a good offense. He runs that 1-5 offense, and that is very good for us. And I think he can relate to these players and really like teach these players and I think like hone Porzingis, because Tracy McGrady was talking about it. Tracy McGrady himself said it. He's like one of his best coach.
Right.
He didn't get out the first round, but that was due to Yao Ming and his injury. It's not because of their talent. It's because of their injury.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. I mean, I'm kind of flaky on Jeff Van Gundy. I don't think he's truly a candidate.
But you know what's so funny? He fits New York he's from New York, but he fits New York for some odd reason. Like when you go back and watch when he coached that Knicks team, and just his whole persona and his whole way of talking, it's gritty. Because when you listen to him on the podium, I love him because he's saying what needs to be heard most of the time.
Right.
And that's what I like.
Right.
Because when you watch Porzingis and how he handles himself, he can become a little prima donna a little bit. You can see it a little bit because he knows he's the guy, and he knows that you know that us as the fans, we love him to death, and we as fans we might let him get away with probably some of his pre-Donna stuff, but I want a coach that can be able to coach him and these young talents, man, because I'm just watching Brad Stevens and Spoelstra, those two coaches, and the way how he coached those teams, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Now, so do you think, because, Brad Stevens, a young coach, came in as a young coach, from what you've heard about?
I think Fizdale is good anyway, because I think he could get into players behind. The fact that he didn't work out in Memphis, because you got to think about it. Memphis cannot get any free agent. So as an organization, ain't no coach coming first before any player, because they can't grab.
It's not gonna happen. Player. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So do you think Jerry Stackhouse can bring the X's and O's?
Yeah, I will give him a chance, but I feel like we have to give him a chance for him to be here. And that is the problem. But the way Scott Perry handled himself in that interview, like, it was military-like. It's like he's not he's really trying to bring something here, and he's really trying to stick it to the fan. Like, we ain't doing nothing off the wall. We gonna do it the right way. I don't care what no fans say. I don't care what the media say. I'm gonna make sure I bring someone here that is gonna teach these kids some damn discipline, man. It's discipline we need in this city, man. Cause it's just like when things don't work out, it's like boom, coach is going after the second year.
Right.
I wish we'd have kept Mike Woodson, because people give Mike Woodson a bad rap. His offense was straight good. His offense was all about spacing. Y'all go back, it was all about spacing.
Yeah, it was.
He did. Y'all gotta understand something. He made J.R. Smith a Sixth Man of the Year award. He got Melo to play the 4 ball. He galvanized us. The fact that we lost, hey, Phil Jackson didn't give him another chance. I felt like he's a good coach. I felt like he got into players behind. Because you got to you got to look at it. Look how Melo respected him. Look how Melo listened to him. And he's not really that type of person. When he don't like a coach, he don't like a coach. When he's done, he's done. And the fact that he was following what Woodson was allowing him, what Woodson was showing him and allowing him, look how Carmelo played. He played like, I felt like, damn, we wasted his talent. Because I felt like he's one of the offensive talent. You surround him with players. Offensively, he can get us there. But hey, we're New York, and then we go get Phil Jackson for $60 million, which he didn't want to come here for. But I like Stackhouse.
I mean, I do like Stack. I kind of like Stack, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't trip if we brought back Mike Woodson. I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't, because y'all go back and watch them 2013. They spacing was incredible.
Yeah, I think that Mike Woodson did a really good job with the Knicks, in my opinion.
Phil didn't want him there. Period. Phil came in, get fired.
Because he wasn't the guy that ran a triangle and things. But I think that, I don't know, I think Mike Woodson did a good job relating with the players. He was good job being a father figure kind of guy.
He's a player's coach, man. He's a player's coach. He's no tolerant. I just want someone that's going to just set a standard for us, because we have no standards right now. We have none. And we have to develop these players in muscle memory. It's just when I watch Boston, Terry Rozier is busting Blitzo behind. Terry Rozier is averaging like 23 points. He's looking like Kyrie out there.
Yeah.
No fear whatsoever.
Yeah. I hear you, man. And you know that, Jerry Stackhouse could be our Brad Stevens. You never know. Hey, Mark, man, I'm going to let you rock. Stay clean, bro. You got to stay clean, man.
NBA refs tonight on that Pacers and Cavaliers game because they really worked. They really worked them whistles, and the league was not allowing LeBron to lose game 2.
Yeah,
that pissed me off tonight.
Hey, you guys stay clean, brother. Stay clean.
My bad.
Stay clean. We need you back.
That made me mad.
We need you here,
man. All right, y'all.
All right, bro. Peace, man. Peace. And let me ask you guys, like I said, Stack is growing on me. Stack is growing on me big time. Right? Now, Mark Jackson. I'm not sure where I am with Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson is, I think he's the rah-rah guy, the kind of rah-rah guy you need. He is the kind of guy that can maybe help the players bring that bravado. That's one thing that we don't have with the players that we have now. We don't have much bravado. We just don't have it. And he can help bring that kind of bravado. He's a motivator. He's a pastor. A pastor is going to be a motivator. But I'm just concerned with the combustibility. You know what I mean? I think, bringing Mark Jackson in my opinion, is just very combustible. When we're talking about New York, him being in New York, I just think it's combustible. That's just my opinion with it, and I'm afraid of that. We've had too much drama over the last 10 to 15 years. From Isaiah Thomas and Marbury to Phil Jackson and Melo. Too much drama, and I think it's time for that drama to go, to be gone, to be done. We need people that are gonna come in and be professional. You know what I mean? Be professional. We got to get rid of the drama, bring in people that's gonna be professional. And I'm just afraid. I'm not saying Mark Jackson's not professional, right? I'm just afraid that with everything that's going, not everything that's going on, but I'm just afraid that it's going to be too combustible. I just leave it there because I could just see Isola is not really at MSG after the games, but Mark Berman and them guys, man, especially when they first get here, the first thing they're gonna do is go back and talk about what happened in Golden State, talk about his religion, you know what I'm saying, and try to probe him because Mark Jackson is gonna give you a soundbite, a little bit, something, and we don't need it. We don't need it. You know what I mean? Ron Cleveland, what's up, bro?
Man, what's going on with you, Simeon? Man, what's up to the chat?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
Evening? Man, I'm listening to everybody make their points, some valid points, talking about Mark Jackson, talking about Stackhouse. But I'm going to start with the elephant in the room, Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
And I put this up in the chat. I don't know if you saw it. The reason why Mark Jackson is the best candidate available.
Okay.
We want somebody that's going to develop young players. There's no doubt he can do that. When you look at his win total from year to year with Golden State, it rose tremendously from year to year. He made Steph Curry what he is. He made Draymond Green. He made Klay Thompson. So if you're looking for somebody who's going to develop you, he checks that box. We need a coach that's going to be able to inspire the players. Check that box. Like you say, he's a motivator. Check that box. Now, this is going to be the key. This is why I want it. We need somebody who can control Porzingis. And what I mean by that, I think Porzingis really is starting to feel a little bit too much of himself. And honestly, and rightfully so, Porzingis hadn't really done much in this league. Let's just be real. He hadn't done much. Mm-hmm. He hadn't done much. Melo covered for him. Then he got the keys after Melo left. Got hurt. He hadn't done much in this league right now. He will never be bigger than Mark Jackson in New York City. Mark Jackson is homebred, St. John's product, Knicks Rookie of the Year. He will not be bigger than Mark Jackson. And another reason why, You need somebody who can take them arrows from the media when things go south. Mark Jackson can take that. It'll take the pressure off Porzingis. Now, I hear everybody talking about the religion stuff. I'm not gonna kill him for that. You know what I mean? Because to me, you got to have structure. You know what I mean? You got to have a coach that has structure. And as long as he's not pushing his beliefs on nobody, you know what I mean? His religion is his religion. You know, you got people doing all kinds of stuff in the league that they claim that's their religion. So religion, we can just take that out of the equation.
Well,
Fizdale, why I don't want him?
But see, I think the thing with Mark Jackson,
they're focusing on that too much. Too much.
But I don't think it's the religion per se. I think it's that he brought it into the locker room.
Well, that if he's trying to force that on the team, yeah, I can see that being a problem. You never want to mix that in business. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was actually forcing it on the team, but it was kind of, I guess, you know, using it in his speeches to motivate them. You know, certain things like that, I guess. And
but
then, of course,
I hear that, right? But tell me once, have you ever heard any of his ex-players came out in the media and say anything about that?
Actually, I haven't at all. You know, but I think there was some things. You
know what the problem was? It was him in the front office.
Him in the front office had some serious problems.
The owner's son. And you know how that can go. Daddy's money. You know, they feel like they can say stuff. And
they had some serious problems.
That was the front office. And from what I know about the situation and studying that situation, what was going on at the time, they gave him the okay because remember he had a church. They gave him the okay to go back and forth. But it was the owner's son. That's what was the problem. It was no problem between him and the owner. And even Steve Kerr came out and gave Mark Jackson his props. So if Mark Jackson was really this problem, those players would have came out and said something about it. I never heard one player came out and said anything negative about it. The reason why I don't want a part of Fizdale is a red flag when you come into an organization you can't get along with the star player of the team. They said that thing was toxic between him and Mark Gasol.
So what happened? What happened with Fizdale and Mark Gasol? That's what I want to know. I don't know what happened.
That's what I want to know too. That's the biggest question he's gonna have to answer. And I'm gonna tell you what, if I can't have my wish of Mark Jackson, because I really do think whoever get Mark Jackson gonna be good for it. Whatever team he goes to this year, he's gonna do a great job. But if we can't have Mark Jackson, there's only one other obvious coach, Jerry Stackhouse. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you why Jerry Stackhouse. Nobody has even hinted on it. When we talk about X and O's, do you remember who coached him in college? I'm a Tar Heels true baby.
Dean Smith.
Tar Heels. There you go.
Dean Smith.
There you go. Everybody that's came from that tree has been successful. Everybody.
Okay.
Dean Smith. That's where it started. That's why they're not even going back to say why Stackhouse is so great. And then another thing, Stackhouse had his start with Avery Johnson too.
Yeah, with Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson played out there and won a championship under.
Yeah, Avery Johnson is kind of like his mentor. You know, Avery Johnson advised him to go to the G League.
Exactly.
Right, because he was an assistant coach with, was it the Raptors?
Exactly. And then when you think about where Avery Johnson learned a lot of his principles from the game from, Popovich, he won a title with Popovich.
True. Yep, with Popovich. Yep.
So when I look at Jerry Stackhouse,
Jerry Stackhouse is growing on me big time. The more and more that I read about Stack, you know what I'm saying? And I even like the name Coach Stack. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That'll ring great in New York. He won't be rattled by the media.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? If you played in North Carolina for Dean Smith, baby, in that Duke rivalry, media is not gonna bother you. You go down there when that game is going on. It's like ants with the media.
Yeah.
So you know he played in that, man. So to me, those are the two logical choices. I think Stackhouse will hold players accountable, especially Porzingis, man. Because really, I'm really not feeling his brother really. I mean, Porzingis hadn't done nothing in this league yet, man. Mm-hmm. He's still up and coming, and he's coming off that injury, man. I'm just afraid Fizdale. With him, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Blatt, I don't want no parts of him. LeBron then contaminated him. He's not gonna be looked at favorably. To me, what Blatt would be in the NBA is an assistant coach, a high-level assistant coach. I take him as an assistant.
Okay. I still believe that. I still believe that David Blatt can coach in the NBA. I think
it just won't be with New York. He need to go to a small market team. he need to go to a small market team. Could you imagine how the media would handle him in New York? I mean, he had a hard time in Cleveland with the media. Go back and look at some of those interviews.
Yeah, I think maybe a small market team. Maybe a small market team is good for him. I think he needs to be on a team that has low ego, young players that he can mold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what he needs. That's what he needs. I'm not doubting that he can coach, but coming to New York, man, no way. No way. That ain't gonna be a good sell after the stench of Phil Jackson and Jeff Hornacek. Because his temperament is a lot like Jeff Hornacek. Man, the players will chew him up, man.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit tougher than. I think it might be a little bit tougher than Jeff Hornacek. I think he is a guy that would hold the players accountable. I think he just came in and had to deal with a bull in LeBron, and maybe he wasn't strong enough to stand up to LeBron. I don't know.
The minute they brought LeBron in, he should have asked for his release. Because, LeBron coming back there, he was going to have to acquiesce.
Yeah.
He was going to have to acquiesce. And that's something I think that's why they butted heads so much. But when you look at the direction of our team, man, like Kuzma, I agree with him earlier. Scott Perry is taking a military approach, me being ex-military. I know all about the military.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I do see that. The fact that he's not releasing too much information, he's giving you just enough.
Right.
He got a plan in place. He's sticking to it. It don't make a difference who don't like it, the fans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to run with that. And that's why I think he's going to really save Steve Mills. He's going to save Steve Mills.
Yeah.
But Mel, I got a question for you. What'd you think about that AAU basketball team in the NBA?
OKC. Man, like I said, man, they don't have any chemistry. They have no chemistry.
And that's sad.
They have no chemistry.
They didn't had all season. They had training camp together. There's no excuse for them.
Yeah, they have no chemistry, and talent can only get you so far. Maybe they get past Utah, but I don't see them going past the second round.
No, I don't see them. I see that series with Utah. Utah might sneak them.
They might.
Oh, and this is an interesting point. I know you from Washington, from that area.
Yeah, yep. Live in D.C.
Did you hear what they're saying now about Bradley Beal and John Wall?
Well, they got some issues going on.
Yeah, somebody's going to be gone. Somebody's going to be gone.
They've had some issues going on. John Wall, he didn't like that Bradley Beal, when John Wall went out, then they came out with the saying, everybody eats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He kind of took that as a slight. John Wall kind of took that as a slight. You know what I mean?
Hey, what the old saying is? A hit dog will holler. You know what I mean? A hit dog will holler.
Right.
So, I mean, he can't get mad. I mean, the shoe fits wear it, man. If you want to do something, change your game.
Yeah,
that style, his game is just like Russell Westbrook when you think about it. 100 miles an hour going nowhere.
Little bit. I think he runs the offense a little bit more, but he still does. He still is kind of that same kind of guy though.
Selfish ball player, man. Selfish ball player, and that's why Paul George will leave OKC. I'm predicting that.
Yeah.
His bags is packed to LA already.
Gone. Might be.
And Melo need to opt out of that contract and go to Houston, man.
I don't think he's opting out. I think he's taking that $28 million, man.
This is the last money grab for him. So
because
he's letting money dictate his career. And I love Melo. I love what he brings to the game. But Melo has let money dictate his career, man. And I hate that for him because that kid should have had a title. It's a shame.
Yeah.
You know who they should have done? What they should have done? Somebody should have been smart enough to go and get Boeheim to be his coach. I'm the only one that has coached that boy the way he was supposed to be coached.
Well,
other than Mike Woodson that 1 year.
I'm sure there's probably some people that put in a call, but I don't think Boeheim is ever leaving the college ranks, man.
Hey, the right amount of money and control you would. Rick Pitino left. Money and control.
He's getting paid. He's getting paid. I don't know what, but he's getting paid. You know, but I think, you know, I don't know what's up with Melo. I can never blame a player for getting their money though.
No, I can't blame him for that because you don't know how long your sports career is only gonna last for so long.
It's only gonna last, right?
And then that lockout was coming, so he was worried about that.
Exactly.
And so,
you can't blame a player for getting their money, but you know, sometimes getting the money doesn't always mean you're gonna win.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm afraid of, man. And the reason why I want Mark Jackson so much, man, Sim, man, to me, he just checks all the boxes, man. You know, the only thing that anybody can say about this guy. What is the one thing that they're saying negative about him?
Well,
they say the religion aspect.
The religion thing. I think.
They're talking about that analytic stuff, but don't you think after he's seen the man has had the opportunity to sit and analyze these games, watch all these different teams.
Yeah.
Now, he's learned from watching. And I guarantee you, wherever he goes, he will embrace that analytics to a point. Because at some point, you still have to be a coach. You still have to have the feel to see when your players. Of course. You can't just be. And to me, I think people put so much stock on analytics. That's always been around. It's always been around, but they put so much stock on it and make it seem like these players are robotic. Yeah. Like, when they get to this amount of minutes, they're going to fall off a cliff with their efficiency and all this. I mean, that stuff is, you know the game, Sim. You know the game.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And a real coach can see that. And the reason why I want Mark is because of that point guard position. The position that we've struggled at for the last, 10, 15 years? Point guard. Point guard.
I hear you there.
And he'll develop Frank.
But I you know what? I agree with you there. I think he would develop Frank. I think it would be great for Frank. You know, I'm still concerned about the combustibility with him in New York. I'm concerned about that.
I think he can handle New York. He played for New York. He's from New York. I think he'll handle that.
Not with him being able to handle New York City, but just being in such a high profile market. From my experience being a Knicks fan, every New York City guy that's come home, it explodes. It explodes.
I know exactly where you're going, man.
It explodes, man. Somehow, some way, it explodes. That's what I'm afraid of.
You're right about that. Home ain't always good, man.
Yeah.
It's best sometimes to stay away and go there to retire. Go home to retire. But yeah, man, I'm gonna let you go, Sam, man. I appreciate always, man, what you do. You know, man, what's up to the chat, man? Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. And Scott Perry, we can trust. Well, whoever he picked, I'm riding with him. He's gonna do what's in the best interest of the Knicks. And y'all know my saying, baby. The Knicks will be back.
I'm with you, 100%. All right, baby. Peace out. Man. Peace, Ron. All right. Yeah, a lot of things happening, man. And my man Nicholas Gay, he been trying to get in, so I got you now, bro. I got you. Nicholas, what's popping, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? I know you've been trying to get in. We had some people on the line. So
yeah. I'm enjoying the coach talk though. Ron went in on Mark Jackson.
Yeah, that's his guy.
But,
that's his guy.
Yeah, that's his guy. Yeah, I'm not feeling Mark Jackson though. Mark could be a good coach, but I don't see him with our team. I think from an X's and O's standpoint, like he may have the background to develop, say, a point guard. He may have the background to develop a good defense, but the offense part, I think that's the problem. Because to me, I think we got players that could play defense, or we have the foundation, or we're going to build that foundation. If we get Mikal Bridges, we'll have 3 defensive players to build our team around. They're going to need a dynamic offense to follow up and build on that. So I don't see Mark Jackson. I'm big on the Stackhouse thing, man. I'm liking what I'm hearing about Stackhouse.
Man, the more and more, even tonight, the more we're talking about Stackhouse, and like Ronald just brought up about Dean Smith, and then Avery Johnson being his mentor, and Avery Johnson getting his learning under Greg Popovich. You know, it's I'm feeling a whole lot. I'm getting pushed towards Stackhouse. I really am. Even though, you know, it'd be his first head coaching job, I feel like I'm getting pushed towards Stackhouse, and I'm starting to feel like he might be a better fit than Fizz.
Well, Fizz is my number one pick, but I'll say Stackhouse is my second. The reason why Fizz to me is the number one pick, I think some people are kind of like skipping over the point. At least with Ron, he did. They skipped over the point that he modernized Memphis's offense, and to modernize that offense, you're gonna tick off the big man who likes that back to the basket post up game.
Yes. Yes.
When he come to Porzingis already doesn't do that. So
Right.
he's going to appeal to him. You look at how he worked with both Chris Bosh and Udonis Haslem. From that standpoint, he helped those guys at least merge with whatever team they had going on with LeBron. And if you listen to some of the interviews that Fizdale had, you know, probably a month ago, he had someone on ESPN LA about what he would do as a coach. He just said, look, whoever he goes into business with, they got to be ready to develop a culture. They got to be ready to build something, and they got to be steadfast, hard-nosed about it, and they can't waver. They can't bounce back and forth, because I think the report was that Fizdale wanted Marc Gasol traded. To be honest with you, that's not a bad idea for Memphis, because it's a $27 million contract. They need to develop players. They got to the playoffs without Marc Gasol last year and Mike Conley, and they did it basically D-leaguers. The guys that they drafted that year weren't even playing. They weren't making the team. They weren't making the cut. They were on the bench. So, like, for him to make the playoffs with that team, and I think that's why he got fired this year, is because with Marc Gasol on the court, they were losing. But with the D-League team, they were winning.
Right.
I mean, you know, say what you want.
I mean, you know, the game has passed by those kind of big men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The game is passing by. You know, those kind of big men are kind of ancient history. Yeah. And, you know, you look at Marc Gasol this year, he hasn't had the kind of season that you expect from a guy making $27, $28 million or whatever he's making. You know, there was a lot of talk about that earlier on in the season, I think, you know.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, to throw this out there, too, I actually thought that if we could have, and maybe the contract isn't good enough, but getting Marc Gasol next to Porzingis would not have been a bad idea for me at one point. But I don't think it's right. So all in all, like, we just need a young team to develop and grow. I think if you get Stackhouse, he was a star in this league. So that's one thing. At least he played, you know, somewhat on a star level. Mm-hmm. And then you just add in the fact that the kind of pathway he could have been on Dwayne Casey's bench, this year or last year, he chose because of advice from Avery Johnson to go back to the D League and just to coach his whole team. And he's had some develop. That bench that Dwayne Casey has is largely in part because Stackhouse was that good of a D-League coach, because when they send guys down, they develop them, and look at what they're showing now. And that's what we're doing right now with our D-League team. Right. Our D-League team is, you know, they're coming along. I mean, I talked about that a couple of shows ago, where if Craig Robinson is really developing guys with these offenses, or just to improve their shot like 12 percentage points higher than what they were previously, then when you had guys like Jeff kind of negating the development that they had, you can't do that. You got to have somebody that's going to continue it, know what these guys are going through. Because the way our contract situation is, we're going to be pulling in more D-League guys. And Stack knows D-League.
Yeah.
So, at least for next year. And then after that, we'll get more young draft picks. And Stack has that young development thing going on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. A lot of good things. I mean, my number one guy is Fizdale.
Go ahead.
And because like I said before, I think he brings a defensive mindset. Offensively, he's he like you said, he revolutionized Memphis. He's no joke. He's gonna hold guys accountable. And then his overall professionalism, I just love his overall professionalism, and I think we need that in New York. We need that, and I think with his professionalism, and with Scott Perry, I think it makes us so much more respectable. But Jerry Stackhouse is really, really, really creeping up on me because I believe that he brings that kind of professionalism as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So he's really, really creeping up on me.
See, the thing is that this is what I hate, at least, is everyone's pushing Mark Jackson, now Kenny Smith. I hate to hear the big name guys get talked about because, again, Kenny Smith has done nothing as a coach. We can sit here and say that Mark Jackson was a good coach, right? But at the same time, he did not bring the full potential out of Draymond. Draymond was not a playmaker in his offense.
Right.
The defense was on point. But at the same time, also he brought in Iguodala. Iguodala is there in Golden State because of Mark Jackson. But at the same time, look at the other facts, the negatives. The religion thing, I don't care about it because you're talking about Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley doesn't like religion, so that's not going to play well for them. But then when you look at the other stuff, the divisive stuff, you don't need more drama in New York. We just got through Phil Jackson. Jim Dolan is quiet. Why would you do things that's gonna make Jim Dolan come out the freaking cave?
Right.
All right. And this is where I get who's wrong. I wanted to scream you cannot bring Jim Dolan out the cage. Will piss me the F off, man.
I feel you. I hear you, man.
Dude, we can't, for how many years has Jim Dolan done nothing but be quiet? And I'm actually rethinking how bad of an owner he is. Jim Dolan, the Rangers win. He'll spend money. He will spend money. Not many owners do it. OKC should be together. That owner did not spend money.
Right.
We got an owner that wants to win so bad, he will just go out and spend money on guys that he thinks could win, like Phil Jackson, who's won 11 championships, maybe I think 13 altogether. That's not a bad idea. It's just the execution of it or the timing of it. You can't go after these old players. So Jim Dolan is not a bad owner. It's just he just gets in the way of himself sometimes.
Yeah.
He's quiet now. He's stepped back. He's letting people do things. By what Scott Perry said, Jim said, "Hey, look, I'll be patient. I'll sit back and I'll wait and I'll let you build this thing organically." If we have that kind of for the first time having that, we got to do it while we can't strike while the iron's hot. Yeah. Give it a 4-year timetable from now till 2022 and let's roll.
And the one thing that Jim Dolan does not like is bad publicity. That's why that's why their publicity, they got their publicity people standing right there when you do an interview. You know what I mean? He's not with the bad publicity, man. So I feel what you're saying. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Hey, Nicholas, man, I know I got some people that want to chime in. I appreciate the call.
when are you gonna do a draft show? Because I want to talk draft too.
Yeah. We're gonna do one. I mean, we'll probably, when we get we get past these playoffs, we get a little bit closer to the draft. But maybe when we after one of these OKC games or whoever we're following, if they go out, we'll do some more draft stuff for sure. Definitely, definitely.
Gotcha. All right, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right, shout out to the chat.
For sure.
All right, peace.
Peace, man. Peace. Yes. A lot of knowledgeable people, man. A lot of knowledgeable people. But yeah, Jerry Stackhouse is creeping up on me big time. Big time, man. He's creeping up on me. Nick D, you say Dolan is the bad publicity. I agree with you there. He is, but he's been quiet. He's been quiet. You know what I mean? He hasn't said much. So we don't know. But, if we start to bring in some kind of bad publicity from anybody, like Nicholas said, man, he's going to come up out the seat. You know what I mean? And start to do some things. Now, I seen somebody, I think it was Kenny Black, ask me, what's this stuff about Stack? Man, the more that I'm learning about Jerry Stackhouse. Now, I already knew that Jerry Stackhouse was doing a great job as an assistant coach with Toronto. I knew that he was doing a great job with his crew up there, the G League team. But the more I'm learning about him, the more I am becoming a believer in Jerry Stackhouse, So that's what it is, Kenny Black, man. That's what it is. That's the more I'm becoming a believer. Fizz is still my number one guy, but Jerry Stackhouse is creeping, and he's creeping up quick. You say, too bad Stack is not getting the job. He might not get the job. He might not. And, I mean, that's cool. It happens that way. Like I said, Fizz is my number one guy right now. That's the guy that I want. But Stackhouse is creeping up, and I wouldn't mind it if Stackhouse got the job. He's going to get a job, I believe. I believe Stackhouse is going to get a job somewhere this year. Someone's going to make an offer for him. I know he's interviewing with multiple teams. Fizdale is interviewing with multiple teams. I just hope what Steve Mills and Scott Perry is bringing to the table, guys are coaches that buy into it. They believe in what they're laying down, because if they're not believing in what Scott Perry and Steve Mills is laying down, we're not going to get the coach that we want. So I hope that they're bringing it the right way. I don't know if Phil Jackson always brought things the right way when you talk about the way he dealt with free agents. You know what I mean? So hopefully they're doing a better job than that. You said, Sim, you should watch the Open Court episode where they focus on Stack. Yeah, I might go back and check that out. I might go back and see what it is. Smith Jr., you say Stackhouse will coach Orlando. Yeah, he might. I know he's interviewing with Orlando, or maybe he's already interviewed. I don't know, but he may coach in Orlando. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be. So what are these interviews? I know we already interviewed Stackhouse. We are. I think we're going to LA so we can interview Mark Jackson, Fizdale. I'm thinking that a decision is going to be made by the end of this. I'm going to say the beginning of next week, middle of next week, maybe even the middle. I think a decision is going to be made. I just can't see it being a crazy coaching search and going on forever and ever and ever. You know what I mean? I just can't see that happening. I think that Scott Perry and Steve Mills, they're going to interview their guys, and then they're going to make a decision. I'd like to know what's going into that decision-making process as well. Just, what are they discussing? Is it only Steve Mills and Scott Perry, or do they have a team of people that are going to be reviewing everything with all of the candidates? How are the coaches that they had, the assistant coaches that didn't get fired, how are they coming into play? I'm interested to know that as well. Are they going to look at each coach and say, what do you think about this assistant? What do you think about this assistant? What do you think about that assistant? You want to keep these guys around? Because right now those guys are taking care of scouting and draft workouts. We haven't done any draft workouts, but scheduling those draft workouts, I guess, and planning and preparing. Then we get a new coach in, and that guy may bring in his coaches or her coaches. So I'm interested in see how this process is going. Since they're touting such a team-oriented and group-oriented type of decision-making process. I wonder if they have this system in place right now to hire the coach. But whatever it is, I think that the coach is going to be hired by next week. Yeah, I think by next week we have a new coach, and we'll start seeing some things fall into place. Maybe we'll get a press conference next week. Guys, it's 12:56, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to head off. We play, not we, OKC plays in Utah Saturday. I think it's 7:30 is the next game, I believe. I don't know how much I'm gonna get to see the game, and I definitely won't be jumping on live from my regular setup. I'm gonna be in Atlantic City for an AAU tournament. There's a huge Adidas tournament in Atlantic City. It's called the Adidas Gauntlet. My team is on the silver gauntlet. We're trying to work our way up to that gold gauntlet, but right now we're on the silver gauntlet. I'm cool with that. Takes a little bit of time to build up to that standpoint, right? So OKC and Utah, actually they play at 10 p.m. So you know what? I think I'll be good to jump on. So on Saturday, OKC and Utah play in Utah at 10 p.m. on ESPN. My tournament, I think I have a tournament game on Saturday at 4:25. And then I think we have another tournament game around 7:25, something like that. So I should be back at, we actually rented an apartment in Atlantic City. I should be back at the apartment in time to watch the game and then jump on live afterwards. It'll be just, a live stream from my phone most likely, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And then, we'll get into it and we'll talk about the game and we'll talk about some other things. But it's a huge tournament. A lot of D1 prospects going to be there. Possibly some future WNBA girls going to be there. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to go. The girls are excited to go. I got all sophomores on the team. And we'll be going against some girls that's going to be in college next year, playing D1 ball and looking at a big future. And they may get a chance to, we won't be playing against them. We'll see them. They may get a chance to see them and actually learn from them. You know what I'm saying? See what they can be in the future. So hopefully we have a good tournament. It's going to be a tough tournament for sure. But I'm out, man. I will see you guys Saturday night. It'll most likely be late. I probably won't jump on until 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. But we'll see how many of you guys are with me. Usually you guys jump on with me. So that should be, I talk to you a little bit about the tournament, stuff like that. And there we go. So I want you guys to be easy. It's no longer hump day. It's now Thursday. So have a cool rest of the week. And I'm going to talk to you guys on Saturday. Peace, y'all. Be easy. If you like the show, please subscribe below. Ring the bell. Get a notification anytime that I go live. Check out these videos over here to stay updated on the New York Knicks, the NBA playoffs, the New York Knicks coaching search. Peace, y'all. Till Saturday after the OKC game.